So it was here in Vandalia, in the Illinois State House of Representatives, that Abraham Lincoln made his first public statement about slavery on March 3rd, 1837. He felt that, quote, the institution of slavery is founded on both injustice and bad policy, end quote. Hello, and welcome to Adventures in TV Land. For today's adventure, I'm here in Vandalia, Illinois, at the Vandalia State House, which is a state historic site, and it is in this building where Abraham Lincoln served as a state legislator. So let's go and check it out. Alright, there is this "Looking for Lincoln" placard here. And this talks about Lincoln in 1836. They basically had two goals he wanted to do, and his comrades in the state legislature. One, to get a bill passed for internal improvements in the state, and two, to move the state capital to Springfield, Illinois. They succeeded on both fronts. However, as this second side of the placard reveals, although the bill passed, it cost over $10 million. This was in the 1800s, in 1836. All those bonds were not repaid until 1882. That was 45 years after they had passed, and 17 years after Lincoln had been killed. It was all based off of all the commerce that happened in the Erie Canal. Unfortunately, Illinois is not like Pennsylvania and New York. Alright, here is another "Looking for Lincoln" placard. This one is about Lincoln and the Long Nine. Abraham Lincoln was a group of 7 representatives and 2 Illinois senators who were all 6 feet tall or taller. They became known as the Long Nine. They were all from the Sangamon County area. There is no photograph or portrait of Lincoln from his time here in Vandalia. This photograph was taken in 1857, so 20 years later. The bricks that line this walkway were made by the Purrington paver. Currently it's open Wednesdays through Sundays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. This is Vandalia, capital of Illinois, 1819 to 1839. This building was erected in 1836 after the old one burned down. It says Third State Capitol, erected in 1836. The third Capitol building was owned by the state. It was restored as a memorial in 1933. It was the Capitol from December 3rd, 1836 to July 4th, 1839. Abraham Lincoln was a member of the House during the 3 sessions of the legislature held in this building, and was the leader in the removal of the Capitol of Springfield. Stephen A. Douglas was a member of the 1836-1837 session. The Fayette County Courthouse occupied this building from 1839 to 1933. This was the Illinois State Supreme Court's chambers. This is where the office of the Secretary of the State was located. This was the State Treasurer's office. This was the office of the Auditor of Public Accounts. All right, we have ascended onto the second floor. And the floor here on the second floor, these are all the original floorboards from when the building was built. So it was here in Vandalia, in the Illinois State House of Representatives, that Abraham Lincoln made his first public statement about slavery on March 3rd, 1837. He felt that, quote, the institution of slavery is founded on both injustice and bad policy, end quote. And these are the Illinois Senate chambers. Now upstairs there on the third floor are the galleries, and those are normally off limits. That is where spectators would have went to watch the legislature in session. And speaking of the galleries, these two blocks of wood on this case here are original pieces of beam that were used to support the galleries. Now this placard here shows you where the Vandalia State Courthouse was located and some of the buildings that were around it, some of which are still located here in the city today. Alright, that was very interesting. I had a really good guide that, told me about the State House. A couple things I learned that I did not know before. One, the city of Vandalia was formed as a result of the State House, because when the State House was moved from Kaskaskia to a new location, Vandalia was chosen, and there was no town here at that time. The land was cleared, and the town grew up as a result of the State House. And two, that before Lincoln and the Long Nine pushed through moving the capital from Vandalia to Springfield, there was a public referendum, and the public voted that the capital should be in Alton, Illinois. However, the state legislature under Lincoln, they overrode the public sentiment, the public vote, and after they made four different votes, and after 4 votes they had a majority. Each of the 4 votes had actually been won to moving to Springfield, but it took 4 votes before they had enough votes and a majority enough to move this capital from Vandalia to Springfield. Now, directly across the street from the Vandalia State House is this little park. It's called Lincoln Park. Now there is here another Looking for Lincoln placard. This one is talking about Mary Owens. Not Mary Todd, Mary Owens. She was a woman who Lincoln had made a joke about marrying with her sister, and her sister actually brought her to meet him, and they took things seriously. And when he actually did propose to Mary Owens, she turned him down. And there is a picture of Mary Owens. There is also the statue here in the park of Lincoln, sitting what appears to be reading a newspaper on a bench. And inscribed here on the paper on Lincoln's lap, it says Vandalia Whig, because he served here in Vandalia as a member of the Whig Party. And here are some words about the sculpture. It says, a young Lincoln said of his own ambitions, I have no other so great as that of being truly esteemed by my fellow man, by rendering myself worthy of their esteem. This representation of Lincoln in bronze at the time he served in the state legislature at Vandalia from 1834 to 1839, before his rise to national prominence as President of the United States, is a symbol of the esteem to which Lincoln is held in the hearts and minds of people everywhere who cherish liberty and justice.
Well, this has been another adventure in TV land. Thank you for watching. If you've liked this video, hit the like button. If you disliked, hit the dislike button. Until next time, that's a wrap.